Welcome everyone, Pat Mitchell here with Tricktrades, and welcome to the Tricktrades setup webinar. We're going to be discussing setups. We're going to tell you basically why so many of you are taking the wrong setups. I know that's something that I struggled with for a long time, is lining up the pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, and really understanding what setups to take. So we're going to go over the basic 5-6 setups that you can take. But first and foremost, before I get into this, we are going to be discussing our momentum intake. But I know that this is a setup webinar. It is important that you understand there is a major difference between strategy and setups. 99.9% of all the shit you see out there, ladies and gents, are setups. It's not strategy. So I want to make this very clear. This is not the Tricktrades strategy. This is setups. Completely different animal. Strategy will make you consistent. Setups in combination with strategy is doable. You are most likely taking setups that are random and they have no basis on the daily chart, the intraday chart, or with the strategy. And that's one of the biggest reasons why so many people fail taking setups. But before we get into that, we are going to very quickly and concisely speak about our momentum program. We have just started a new intake. Some of you that are just joining us may be wondering what that is. Well, the momentum program is a program that I have been working on for years. And it is a live trading program where it's not just some basic bitch live trading where I'm going to get you involved with trades and hit bangers and that's it. That's not what this course is about. This course is designed to absolutely push your limits. Now, don't be afraid of that. It's going to get you over hurdles. This is why people, traders, remain stagnant for so long, is because they don't push themselves. They're afraid to take certain trades. They're afraid to try something new. They're afraid to get involved with the trade. They're afraid to execute the trade. This is all stuff that we work on. And the beautiful thing is we all work together in this course. So what is it? First of all, you have access to our the momentum course outline. And the beautiful thing about this, and this is what separates us from all other services out there, the momentum course isn't just an evergreen course that I've recorded once and that's it. It's all been forgotten about. It's on the back end. That's what you have. Deal with it. No matter how the market evolves, no matter what happens in the market, all of these courses that are out there, there's courses out there that have been around for like 20 years. Well, they're no longer relevant. There might be small pieces from that course that are relevant, but it's not relevant in today's market. What is the market doing today? So with this course, it is ever evolving. So what does that mean? Every single live trading day that we have is uploaded into that course. And then we take key lessons. If there is a key lesson that isn't already covered, it will be put into that program. So once you purchase that momentum course once, you'll have lifetime access to that course. It is your course. But the beautiful thing is, it is always evolving. It is always changing. It is always being upgraded. So that's number one. That's beautiful. Number two, you are going to have access to our live trading, which happens for 8 weeks. It is an 8-week block of live trading where we will day trade live every morning, Tuesday morning. After the morning session, after we take our trades, not only am I going to walk you through a trade or a couple of trades, but after we take our morning trades together, you can sit back and you can watch me trade at full size. That way you get the best of both worlds. And there's a major difference between trading to build an account, which is what we're focused on, to build an account, to gain consistency and confidence over time. I also give you a sizing protocol. This sizing protocol is designed for you to use the rest of your career. In fact, when I start noticing that I'm making mistakes, I use a variation of this sizing protocol. It helps you gain your confidence to ramp your size back up. It's an important tool. It's a powerful tool. And it's a tool that is included with momentum. So there's that. And then, like I said, you can see how not only just to build that small account or build an account, but then you can see how I trade live with full size. So that gets you prepared, showing you how to manage these trades with size in real time, safely and effectively, without exposing yourself to this ridiculous amount of risk that you see everywhere on social media. You see traders that are taking $100,000 losses, $50,000 losses, $1 million losses. Does that sound like a good time? Does that sound like something you want to explain to your husband or wife, that you just blew up your fucking account 10 years in? Because it's going to happen. There's a lot of traders in this market right now that are going to blow up because they simply have never put any time, effort, or energy into learning proper risk management. It's something that we focus on heavily in momentum. So this momentum intake is live. Now, I just want to show you the quick PDF. We can go over a couple of points and then we're going to get right into the setup webinar, guys. Just relax. Okay, folks, you guys can see my screen's all good? Okay, so this is basically our two products. You have momentum, which is everything that I just spoke about, and then you have a live trading option. Now, this live trading option does not include any of the modules, any of the education. What it does include is your live trading every Tuesday, and then followed up in the evenings with our live Q&A session where we dissect the trades, go over some lessons, and really talk about the day and really dissect that day from a really non-biased standpoint, and really hammering ourselves and holding ourselves accountable. So again, you get lifetime access to the modules after 8 weeks. It's continuously updated. And a lot of people want to know what a type of trader it's for. It's for all beginners to pros. A lot of people want to know what type of results you can expect. And these results, and this is how I say it, and there's momentum members that are in this webinar right now, and they'll absolutely attest to this. If you come in as a beginner, you will come out as a novice or higher. If you come in as a novice, you will come out as an intermediate or higher. If you come in as an intermediate, you're going to come into that professional tier. Now, that's a given. That will happen. That is shaving years off of your curve as a trader, folks. Absolutely. So let's quickly dive back into this. I just really wanted to make that point. Okay, so with that said, we're going to cover things about speed and distance, which is something that is very exclusive to Tricktrades. It's something that I talk about all the time. We're going to talk about finding the correct levels of support and resistance, how to add into your position, and when to take profits effectively. We're going to be covering a bunch of stuff. You can go to the link that Luke will post, and he will really let you know. But these modules, that's some pretty in-depth training. And then we also have, like I said, the live trading. Now, live trading does not include any of the modules. So I highly recommend momentum, but this live trading is offered at a little bit of a discount because it doesn't include the modules. So again, you're going to get everything to do with live trading and the live Q&A. Also, as a bonus, once you complete momentum once or the live trading once, you are going to be able to get involved with live trading in 8-week blocks forever. You're going to be given a coupon for that. And that's offered at under $2,000 for an 8-week block where you can perpetually join us in live trading. It's something that nobody else offers. I plan on doing this course for a very long time. I plan on live trading for a very long time. So this link that Luke is posting is live. I highly recommend that you guys get involved with it. If you're able to swing it, do it. You will not be disappointed, and you are going to get pushed into situations that are designed to get you over these slumps, these hurdles. You have my word on this, guys. It's something you have never seen before. I absolutely guarantee it. There's nobody that offers this level of education in a course. Okay? So with that said, I hope to see you all there. I hope to see a lot of you there in this intake for momentum. This intake starts next week, next Tuesday, June 14th. We have opened up the paywall now, so you're able to purchase it. But remember, when you purchase it, live trading will not start until Tuesday, next Tuesday, June 14th. And then it will run for 8 weeks, every Tuesday for 8 weeks, followed up by the live Q&A sessions in the evening at 7 p.m. East. So you can find more information there on that link, and I hope to see you guys there. So who's ready to get into this webinar? I ask that you guys hold your questions and just let me get through the material. We have a lot of material to get through this evening. Okay. Actually, before we get into the charts, and I know I already stressed this at the beginning of the webinar, but for people that thumb through shit, I want to make this point very clear. Setups and strategy are not the same thing. If you ask someone what their strategy is, 999 times out of 1,000, they're going to give you a strategy that isn't a strategy. It's actually a setup. Setups are more for people in the intermediate level, okay? So there's basic, novice, intermediate, and professional. I recommend to stay away from setups, but I know you're not going to do that. So that's why I'm doing this, so then you can effectively and safely take setups. But I'd really wish that you guys would hang tight for a little bit and just work on the strategy. But after this free webinar here that we're putting on here, by the end of this, I promise you, you're going to be able to take setups with way higher odds of success. I'm going to help you put these pieces of the puzzle together. So let's get into it. Let me get my tools out. Definitely going to need those. Okay, folks. So let's go through what setups are first. I'm just going to draw out the basic setups. We can make this real quick because a lot of you do know what these are. So we have a double top. Right? We got a top and a second top. That right there is a double top. So that's a double top. Now, let's talk about a double bottom. And I know this is very basic stuff here, guys, but we got to cover it. Two bottoms, where it puts in a base, pops up, pulls back to retest and prove that strength. That is a double bottom. Now we have a higher low. We got a low, we got another low. It is this low is higher than this low. That is a higher low. Deal with it, Ish. I don't know what to tell you, man. Now we got a, so we got a higher low. Now we got a lower high. We got a high, and then we got a lower high. Okay. So a double top is a showing of weakness. A double bottom is a showing in strength. A higher low is a showing in strength, and a lower high is a showing in weakness. So we would short on those showings of weakness and go long on those showings of strength. Okay, pretty straightforward stuff so far. Now we also have one more setup, and that is a VWAP setup. And if we have time, I will discuss this, but I have lots of free video lessons on YouTube, as well as the more in-depth lessons on our Tricktrades video lessons. So now let's break down each one of these. Okay, so let's talk about why traders fail first, actually. Okay, so traders fail on these setups for multiple reasons. One of the biggest reasons why they are not taking the right setup is they are taking random setups, because it'll happen. Higher lows, double bottoms, double tops, lower highs, all of that. It happens multiple times during the day. You're generally taking those not on maturity. So a mature setup is a valid setup. So what is a mature setup? Well, an immature setup is something that would set up on, let's say, a quick double bottom or a quick higher low within like 5 minutes or so. So you have 5 candles, starts coming up, then it starts coming down. It's real quick. It's real tight on the chart. If you were to take only setups on maturity, so 15, 20, 30 minutes plus, where it makes that nice, large, pronounced double bottom, higher low, lower high, whatever, you will increase your odds just right there of taking the right setup. Now, we're obviously going to get into way more detail, but that's one of the #1 reasons why traders will take the wrong setup. And we can quickly go back into the charts, and I can show you here just a quick example drawing. So let's say a higher low. So market sells off, it pops up, instantly pulls back, and it pulls one of these. Okay, we've all seen that. It's very quick, it's a small pop, and they take it on that higher low here. Well, what you're missing is, and this is where we're going to start getting into the nitty-gritty of each one of these setups. When you take something like this that sold off this much, it's a big, huge sell-off. One of the ways for this to start coming up is for shorts to get squeezed. Now, when you see this little range, so highs here to lows here, see this little bit of distance? That's very small, isn't it? That tells me right there that shorts are so confident in this coming lower that they are not willing to cover their shares. When you cover your shares in a short, it creates buying pressure. Now, you'll get a little bit of short cover, right? And that's what's happening here. But it's not enough to really spook those shorts up. So if this were to change like this, and then it comes back down, do you see how it becomes more mature? So from here to here was the first immature setup, and you can see that distance now here. It's far more distance this way, right? More like horizontal distance. That right there is telling me, number one, you can see the distance this way, right? See how much more it is? That's telling me that shorts are starting to get out. And if this holds here, breaks those highs one more time, look out. That's where you start getting these red to green moves. When the day goes red and gets back green on the day, because shorts are getting squeezed. It happens all the time, guys. So I know that this is a little messy here, but if you can burn that into your brain, just that alone on the high or low, there are some other pieces to the puzzle here, and we're going to go over the daily chart, but that's where people fail, on a high or low or a double bottom. It's the same thing. Because it's probably going to come up and then slam back down. How many times have you guys taken this and got slammed on? Lots, right? That's why. You're in way too fast. You're not giving time for the chart to fully work itself out. See, one of the things that people miss as well is you need to give these charts enough time. Enough time needs to go by in order for longs to give up or shorts to give up, depending on what side of the trade you're on, right? You need to let those shares cycle. Now, don't read too much into what I just said there about share cycling. It's not like a technical term. It's just a way to explain it. You need to let shorts give up or longs give up, or enough shares to exchange hands that it won't do any craziness. We don't want any craziness, guys. We want smooth, stress-free trading. And that's why you see when I post my trade recaps every day, it's green every day. I know it seems impossible for people that aren't involved with trick trades, but this is what we do. I don't know what to fucking tell you, man. But this is why we only take the right setups in combination with the strategy. And what makes this even more powerful on this double bottom or higher low is if you were to take it into support, or vice versa, resistance up here if the setup was up here. When you're taking some random ass double bottom, higher low, or any of the setups without this support, it's invalid, guys. Intraday support with no daily chart support is invalid. You have one piece of the puzzle, just one. You need to line up at least two. The more pieces of the puzzle you can line up in these trades, the better off you'll be. So you need to look for setups in combination with support valid. support or resistance. So what is valid support or resistance? Open, low, high, close. Moving averages. That's it. That's your valid. There is trend, but we're not getting into trend here today because that's a full other webinar. A lot of people think they know how to plot a trend line. They're fucking wrong. I see it done all the time. It's always wrong. It's nonsense what they're charting out here. They're only looking at really long-term trend. Well, I hate to break it to you, but not a lot of traders are still involved with that trade a year later, 5 years later. They're out. It's only algorithms that'll attach themselves to that. And you need more volume than just the algorithms. Anyways, I know I digress there. So again, support and resistance in combination with these setups, guys, cannot stress enough. So let's talk about a lower high and a double top now. So you guys good so far? And we'll go into it more about double bottoms and higher lows. Setups on maturity, guys. Setups on maturity will save your ass. Only take setups on maturity. Now, there is a way to get involved with an immature setup. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about that because they can be valid. Now, this is where people get fucked up. There are always caveats, side notes to this stuff in trading. There's so many subtleties. There's so many variations and variables of these trades working or not working. Now, I've been doing this a decade, so I know what works and I know what doesn't. So our basic trade, taking a setup, you can take on maturity. So when can you take an immature setup? Well, let's draw it out. Okay, guys. This is a support level right here. This isn't just any support level. This is an extremely valid support level. Let's say it's this. You see that support? We got highs here, lows here, lows here. This day, it dipped into that and ripped because it's very heavy support. So let's say we didn't open up. You see that little itty bitty bit of distance? That was like this on the intraday chart. Let's say we opened up way up here. Now we're talking multiple points away, aren't we? And again, this support level is not a basic support level. It is an extremely valid high support. Multiple days, multiple lows, multiple previous closes. It is a volume zone. If you draw your crosshairs straight across, it is nothing but support right at that area. Multiple touches, very valid, okay? So that's what this support level is. Market opens up. Traps a bunch of people, starts coming down, still making lower lows, and then it comes here. The last little bit, it flies into that level with speed and distance. And it pulls one of these. And then it does this. But Pat, you told me not to take that immature setup. Well, when you have this much distance and that much speed, especially towards the end, into this heavy support zone, you will get a reaction there. Now, I'm not saying it's going to do this. I'm not saying that. We never look for that, guys. We're not looking for this home run bullshit. If you're looking for home runs, go back to your job at the Gap and fold those fucking sweaters real well, because that's what you're destined for. But I'm looking for this. We should be able to get it into this trend, right? You see that? So remember, when I'm drawing this shit, guys, nothing's by accident. It's all laid out exactly how I want it. So this trade from here to here, you're guaranteed that trend. Now, it doesn't look like much, but this is probably 1.5 to 2 points. That's more than enough, right? And then if it pulls back to test that support, it can then launch. And it generally will, because of how much distance is on the day. I know it's a lot to take in here, guys, but this is how it is. Now, something I'm going to point out to you, and this is where the real magic is. I want to draw this a little bit better, okay? Just to really hammer my point across. So hang tight. It's going to be the same chart, just a little bit different. So market opens up, starts selling off with lower lows. They're pretty tight, right? Start putting in a pretty nice trend, and then it just washes real hard. Okay. So you see our trend. Now, you might not have this many touches on a trend, and I know I said we weren't going to talk about it, but just bear with me here. The reason why you can take this immature setup, you guys see the distance here? It's either going to test this support, previous support, and it wasn't any support, or it's going to test this. And if you take a look, that's right at trend, right? So if you're telling me that this won't bounce and at least test this, you're fucking wrong. It will do this 80 to 90% of the time. And the reason why I want that speed, that quick sell-off, coming from that last test of that trend into that support, is because it creates this distance, doesn't it? You see that distance? Once it catches ground here, people will buy that. Shorts will pull profit, also because of this valid support. But are you guys catching my point here? When you get that wash, okay, I'll make it even more pronounced. Okay, you see how it's really pronounced now? Let's say that's your trend. It needs to catch up back into that trend or close. It doesn't have to test it, but it's going to get you close. And that, my friends, is a immature setup that I would absolutely take, because I know I can get from here to here as a trade. And that, my friends, is more than enough to make thousands of dollars. Easily. I do it all the time. My members do it all the time. So the more speed you have coming into that, guys, the bigger of a reaction you'll have, even on immaturity. That is an immature setup. I hope you guys are taking notes. Okay. So you guys picking up what I'm laying down so far? Everyone's good? Everyone's good? Everyone's kosher? How are the new people joining us finding this webinar so far? You guys are understanding what I'm getting? Now there's going to be some things that I'm going to talk about that it might go over your head. Just don't overthink it. Just try and soak in what you can, okay? So now let's talk about when should we be looking at these double bottoms or higher lows? Let's start with the double bottom. So the psychology of the double bottom is the provocation of strength. It needs to prove strength. When do we need to prove strength? Can anybody answer that? Okay, at support. Daily chart. Think daily chart, ladies and gents. When do we need to prove strength on the daily chart? So we need to prove strength on the daily chart after a sell-off, don't we? Right? On a dip. 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 If you go back on the intraday chart, going all the way back here, on all of these days on a dip, you're going to see a double bottom and maybe a higher low, but I'm willing to bet it's going to be a double bottom. It needs to prove that strength on a dip. It's not going to do this, guys. Okay, so let's say the daily chart, we're selling off. Let's say there's support here. That's the support level right here. Okay, so that's this day. Market opens up, we got this much distance from where we open, right? So it's about like this. Beautiful amount of distance, by the way. You think it's just going to do this? No, it's not going to do that. What it is going to do, because we are selling off and it has not put in a double bottom or any type of proving of strength yet. There is support, granted. But it's going to do this. And guess what? It's not just going to take off from here. It's going to do this. And it might do this. And then finally, once it breaks this range, lights out, that's when it'll go. These aren't double bottoms and triple bottoms and then a higher low. It is the proving of strength. That's what you guys are missing on all of these fucking setups, these bullshit setups that you take. You're not understanding why these things do what they do. The whys and the hows. This is the shit we focus on at Tricktrades. So when you're getting extended on the daily chart, and I tell my members all the time, we are going to fuck around and mess around on this support. Now that means it is going to test and retest and possibly test again. Where people will fuck up is they'll take that trade on a double bottom after it's sold off and got so extended on the daily chart, and they'll take this much out of the trade. That's great. You made your money, but you're missing the bigger picture. There are some setups that's what you're really looking for. It's proving that strength. It's not simply going to come down and then go straight back up, guys. The proving of strength on the daily chart, on a dip, that is when you take a double bottom. Don't take double bottoms here. I don't know. I'm trying to find some random ass day here, guys. You know what I mean? Here, dips, 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 at lows. Sorry, I'm pointing to the fucking thing. on dips, guys. That's when you are taking double bottoms. So when do you take a higher low? Well, you take a higher low. You see this? What did I tell my members? I said, we are still putting in lower lows. It will come up and then it will pull back to retest lows. Did I not say that? Did I not say that that was going to happen? I did, didn't I? We went over it in our mentoring live class. I said, we're going to come down and we're going to retest. On these days down here on this retest, it will prove after this first green day. Now, this day was an anomaly, okay? That'll happen. That's fine. But on these days here, I guarantee if you pull back that intraday chart you see at lows, I bet you there's a higher low there on maturity. 100%. Go ahead, look it up. Prove me wrong. I don't even need to go back to tell you that there's a higher low down there, because there is. So, double bottoms on first test of daily support. First test on daily support after a major sell-off, double bottom. That's your best friend. After that daily chart has bounced and then pulled back, you're starting to look for higher lows. That's your best friend. Do you see how these setups correspond with different parts of the daily chart? That right there is fucking gold, okay? That's what will make you money. That's what will give you success. That's what will give you consistency instead of these random fucking trades you guys are taking. So now that we've went over the higher lows and the double bottoms, there's one more thing I do want to talk about on a higher low. Oops. So now, oops, I'm all fucked up here, guys. Sorry about that. So now I want to talk about the psychology of the higher low. The higher low is important. Now, it can higher low here. It can higher low here. A higher low is a higher low. That's your low. That is a higher low. That is a higher low. So this is even stronger. If I had to rank the double bottom and the higher low, which one's stronger? The higher low is stronger. That is extremely important to understand. I would much prefer to take a higher low than a double bottom. The higher low has already proven that on this first test, once it pulls back, there are people willing to buy at a higher price point. That price point was here. They're willing to buy here. And on this one, even stronger, willing to buy here. That is really proving strength. People are willing to buy at a higher price point than they did previously. That's important. And this is why, again, you don't want to be taking these bullshit immature setups, guys. There's not enough time right here on that for these people to digest the action. Most institutional traders use the 5 and 15-minute charts. I do not want you to use the 5 or 15-minute charts. I don't give a fuck that the institutions use it. Use the 1-minute chart. But when you're taking a 1-minute chart trade and you're doing this, how many minutes have went by? So what does it look like to the institutions? It just looks like that. It hasn't confirmed strength, has it? You guys see the difference between the 1-minute and the 5-minute or the 15-minute? You see why these immature setups fail? Because it hasn't fucking done anything, ladies and gents. Hasn't done nothing. Has it confirmed yet? It hasn't, has it? It just bounced. That should be a little bit of a revelation for you guys right there. On the 15-minute chart, when it does this, what does it look like on the 1 minute? Ah, now you get the mature, right? Wait for maturity. This here on maturity is an immature 15-minute. It's important stuff, guys. So for those of you that are joining us here, and maybe you don't want to get involved with momentum, maybe you don't have the funds for it, maybe you don't trust me yet, join Tricktrades. Come to Tricktrades, join us. This is the type of education we do. This is just a free webinar I'm doing, guys. This is just free shit. Shit that I'm willing to give away for free. So let's talk about double tops and lower highs, and we can wrap this baby up. When do we want to look for a double top and even a lower high? Peaks, tops. How do you know it's a top? Well, it's extension. It's simple extension. That's it. That's all. We got five days plus green days or red days, but it's still moving up. Yeah. Start looking for it. Now, we called the top here at Tricktrades. I actually called the top of the market probably 2 years ago. I said it's going to drive into 500 and then finally crash. And although it's proved strength here, guys, I wouldn't trust it. Anyways, on peaks, on extension. So right up in here, especially if we gap up, if you gap up a little bit. So this is yesterday's action. Market gaps up, runs a little bit pre-market. This is the market open line. So this is live market. Market opens up here. Whether we have resistance or not, let's say there's daily resistance here. If you get a move and it does this, now I'm not even talking that there is resistance up here because I wouldn't even wait for a setup. I would take it straight into resistance, no hesitation, which is what I do every fucking day. And we rock out. That's the strategy. That's the importance of strategy. But let's say there is no resistance here. And it pulls and it comes back up. And whether it does a double top or a lower high, fucking take it. Take it. Now I'm going to show you guys something. Distance is everything. You see how it went from here straight up with no pullbacks at all into intraday resistance? After it gapped up here to here and then ran from here to here. See that much distance? And then there's no break. There is no breath. It didn't take a breath and then it didn't, did it? It just went straight up. Fucking take it into that level at the scariest moment. You got to trust me on this, guys. Trust me. The scariest moment is the right moment. Take it. Take it into that. A lot of people ask the question, well, I don't like, how do I get entered into a double top? Like, when do I take it? You're fucking overthinking it, man. Just fucking take it as it's coming into that double top. Why? Because that is the least amount of risk possible. But Pat, that's the most risky part. It has not, it didn't stop. You're scared. Quit being fucking scared. Take it into that level. There is no risk there. If it breaks that, have a simple risk strategy in place, which is what we have at Tricktrades, and you're protected. You're fucking protected. Into that previous resistance. That's all you got to do. When it makes that move from point A to point B with distance, take it into a resistance level. Take it. Fucking take it. When you are at highs on extension, the odds of the market continuing to go north with no catalyst is fucking almost nil. It doesn't happen, guys. The market, everybody, you know how everybody says the market's irrational? It's not. It's completely rational. It only makes sense if you understand it. The problem is people have never taken the time to really truly understand the basics. Now, so many times on social media, especially on YouTube, people will come in and they'll say things like, oh, this is just basic stuff, simple support and resistance. I guarantee that person's level of basics, I wouldn't even consider a fucking beginner in the walls of Tricktrades. We go deep on the basics because the basics is what pays the bills. Now, I have a mentoring live class that's dedicated 1 full hour to the basics that would blow your fucking mind. Blow your mind. Shit you've never even thought of before. And it's all just basics. It's just basics. That alone is worth the price of admission. So setups should always be determined on daily chart, first and foremost, guys. If it doesn't have any support on the daily, it can still bounce or reject. You take mature setups on maturity. And that's it. And the reason why people fail is they don't follow those simple little checklist rules. That's all there is to it, guys. So if you enjoyed this setup webinar, come to tricktrades.com. And I'm telling you, if you're able to swing momentum, get involved with momentum. It will fucking change your life. Now, I don't know. You don't need to take my word for it. Maybe you're not a good judge of character. I don't know. Some people are, some people aren't. You don't have to fucking believe me. But for the sake of argument, coming into Tricktrades and spending a couple $100 to realize and find out for yourself whether I'm full of shit or not, I might just change your life. I might just change your family's life and your family's fucking future. Look at the shit that's going on in the world right now, guys. If you think for a second that we're not coming into a massive, worse than 07, 08 crash, you're fucking crazy. It's coming. Inflation is at record highs. People are starting to get foreclosures at astronomical levels. Bad things are about to happen. Now, you have two fucking choices. Two choices. You can get scared and you can tighten up those purse strings and you can save every last penny. And you can continue going to your job until they finally lay you off because you do not fucking matter to them. I've been in that situation. And I swore I would never go back to that situation. I did whatever I could. And I damn near starved getting into this. But I'm here, living proof. So again, you have two choices. You can tighten up those purse strings and you can just let some other asshole basically determine your future and your destiny, or you can do something about it and you can take your fucking life in your own fucking hands and you can make shit happen for a change. Do something that you know you need to do. And it's up to you. We all know what's coming here. If you can't see it, you're fucking nuts. It's coming. So we have two options. Start today and change your fucking future, and start working towards getting out from under the thumb of the government and your bosses and this fucking 9-to-5 rat race, or don't. So I'm going to read this here. On double bottom, high or low, is there a point of the retracement that is too high? Goes down, hits a level. Again, it really would depend on daily chart. And there are certain, see, that's the thing. You're really starting to get into like trade specific. Those are, and I don't care what anybody says. That question is very difficult to answer. Now, I can fucking lie to you right now, man. I could totally lie to you and I could give you some response and you'll be like, oh, okay. But you're going to do what I'm going to tell you to do and you're going to fuck it up. I almost guarantee it, because the nuances and the subtleties are in the price action. It's trade specific. It is day specific. It is daily chart specific. It is news specific. It is very specific to that day's price action. Okay. Now there's trades all the time that I have a trade plan for in the morning. And then I say, as the day goes on, I do not like that level. And I do not like the way it is pulling back. Do not take that long. So like I said, I could bullshit you and I could try and give you an answer, but I'm giving you the right answer. That's the right response. That is a professional response. You understand? Okay. Okay, muchachos, I'm gonna rock and roll. I hope you guys enjoyed this this free webinar. Again, Luke is going to post the link for Momentum, as well as our Trick Trades, just general, and you have full-blown education there, guys. I'm gonna teach you there. So either one is a fantastic option. So I hope to see some new faces here tomorrow morning, guys. I really do. And with that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I hope you guys got something out of this. And when I repost this, I'm going to repost this on YouTube. I'm going to repost it on Facebook. Rewatch it. Rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it. There's a lot of solid information here, guys. And until next time, guys, thanks for coming out. Adios.